I was saying, let's get this party started. All right. So hopefully you have all the necessary accoutrements to go with your workout tonight, which is your water bottle full of something. Water, hopefully. If you put some electrolyte mix in it, that's even better. You have a towel, because you will need it. And you have a fan, which is the most important piece of equipment, because you will be increasing your body temperature because of what we're going to do. So all of you guys have done these workouts before, except maybe Maria. I'm not sure if you've done any of the YouTube videos or anything. So because of that, I will give to you suggested gears, but I'm also going to give to you suggested cadences and suggested kind of levels of intensity. So right now you should be in your easiest gear, meaning in your small ring, and the easiest gear at the top of your cassette. Right now we're just going to warm up, get the heart pumping, get the legs working. So that easy gear, to some people, might feel too easy, meaning that you're kind of spinning out the gear. Just bring your legs down to a comfortable spin. You don't have to go at intensity right now. We're just trying to get the body to get warmed up. So today's workout, what's it going to be? Felt like doing a little climbing today. So this is one of those workouts where it's going to take a little bit of patience. You're going to work a lot of strength, but you're also going to work in some cadences that should be your goal cadence on a climb in a way. Every hill is different in terms of its grade. If you're going up a grade that's 3%, you can hold a different cadence than one that's 9%. So keep that in mind when you're climbing. But the key to climbing, and this is where a lot of people really miss out on getting improvements in their climbing, is trying to learn how to increase your leg speed as you climb. Not meaning go slow at the bottom and faster at the top, but just keeping a nice, even, steady cadence. If your leg speed is too slow, you're really not going to go anywhere. That chain spinning around moves that back wheel, gets you to get from point A to point B. So, got to keep those legs moving. So today we're going to work a little bit on that. The really nice part about today's workout is that you really are not going to have to think much in the main set, because we're going to be doing the same set 4 times. So each time you want to look for improvements, you want to look for that consistency, and you want to look for gearing and what gears you're using to help you get through that segment. All right, you guys all know the drill. When we start, we're going to do a 5-minute worth of getting the legs warmed up even more. I'm going to give to you gear suggestions. What that means is small ring, big ring in the front is what I will call it. In the rear, Depending on what rear cassette cluster you have, most people have a 28 tooth gear at the top, meaning your biggest cog or the easiest gear, and an 11 or a 12 as your easiest or your hardest gear at the very bottom of the cassette. So for our warm-up, I want you to put yourself in your small ring and your 15, which is going to be right in the middle of that cassette cluster. So go ahead, shift down to that gear. I want you to give me 30 seconds, as hard as you can go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. The reason I want you to go hard, don't worry about other factors. Just go as hard as you can to get yourself warmed up even more. We want to bring that lactic acid to the surface. Feel the burn in the legs. 3, 2, 1. Back up to that easy gear. So remember the gear you were in. You're going to go back to that after a minute's worth of spinning. So if you can hold a 90 cadence right now, try to do that. Keep the leg speed high. Keep the legs moving. It's a little bit of recovery, but not a lot. By this 5 minutes, we'll be warmed up enough to then move to our next block. Find that gear, back down to your 15. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 30 seconds hard. Push it out. Super high cadence. Nice soft shoulders, meaning nobody's pushing their shoulders up to their ears. Little bend in those elbows. 3, 2, back to that easy gear. Spinning fast. Keeping the leg speed high. If you find yourself bouncing, just pull your cadence back a little. Just turn it down slightly. We want to keep that leg speed high. Keep the intensity. We're going to be 3 minutes into this 5 when we start the next 30 seconds, which will be in 10. Find that gear again. 3, 2, let's go. 30 seconds. Feel yourself pedaling evenly. Use that upward part of the stroke. You might want to start turning on your fan if you haven't already. 3, 2, 1. Back to that easy gear. 1 more minute easy. And 1 last 30-second hard. Now, if you feel yourself breathing heavily in this warm-up, and you say to yourself, why am I like breathing really hard? Well, it's because your body is saying, oh, okay, you're starting a workout. Let me breathe a little harder. That's why we do this. Because you'll notice once you've warmed up properly, once we get into the main set, the heart will start to settle in. So don't be alarmed by that reaction. Find that gear. Last one. 3, 2, let's go. Just the last 30 seconds. Pushing it hard. Staying strong. All the way to the finish. Don't get weaker in the last 5. 3, 2, 1. Easy gear. Take a drink. 1 minute at easy. Remember that our goal is to finish that water bottle by the end of this workout. All right. We're going to move into getting even more warmed up. But we're going to kind of push the legs a little on this next set. The way it's going to work is we're going to do 15-second bursts, meaning we're going to do 5, 5, and 5, which means that you're going to start your cadence relatively slow. Every 5 seconds, you're going to increase your cadence just a little. And then that last 5 seconds is going to be all out. And then you're going to get 15 seconds off. I'm going to guide you through that, obviously. You don't need to be counting for yourself. Just follow along. So when you start, your leg speed will be slow, as I'm doing now, a little faster, and then all out. So that's how it should feel for that 15 seconds. Really going from one level of cadence to the next. And you're really going to have to concentrate because this is going to go fast. The difference here is I'm going to put you in your big ring. So if you want to go ahead and get there now, you may do that. And I want you shifting down just 2 gears, 2 harder gears. So it's not too heavy of a gear. If you feel like you need 1 gear once we get going, that's fine too. So let's give this a shot. 3, 2, 1, 15 seconds. 5 seconds. A little faster. And all out. Then settle back. Bring it back. Dial it back for 15. So go down to that low cadence, somewhere around 80 or 75. Keep it here for 5. Bring it up for 5. Then really bring it up. If you can hit 100, back down to 80. Now you're getting into the flow. This may hurt. That's what we're looking for. Holding 80 for 5. Bringing it up a little. And all out. Back to 80. So it really should almost look like 80, 90, 100. Here we go, holding steady. Bringing it up. Hitting 90. And all the way out. Really go for it. Back down to 80. When you hit that all out, work on keeping the upper body Nice and still. Here we go, 5. Bringing it up to 90. All about the legs. Over to 100. Settling back in. I like how the body starts to know where it needs to go for the 80. Staying here. Bringing it up a bit. All out. Holding steady. Back to 80. Now you might be noticing your 80 is now turned into 83 or 85. That's good. Holding 80. Up to 90. Hitting 100. Back to 80. The reason it's good is because it shows that the body's really getting warmed up, which is what we want. Holding steady. Bringing it up a bit. And all out. Back to 80. You got 1 more minute to go. Just 2 more efforts. Holding steady here. Bringing it up. All out. Back to 80. 1 more to do. Really work on your legs, doing all the work. Upper body can't help you pedal. Holding 80. Bringing it 90. And all the way out. Last one. Holding at 80. Let's finish up the 5 minutes. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and down to your small ring and back up to that super easy gear. All right, now you're fully ready to go. Take a drink, towel off, get yourself ready for our main set. So we'll keep it in time. It's going to go quickly. Here's how it's going to go. Some seated and standing efforts. I'm going to give to you gearing, and I'm going to give to you cadences. And I want you to try your hardest to stay within those cadence ranges. If you need to shift, you're more than welcome to do that. So if for some reason the gear, you're unable to hold the cadence, that's fine. So the first set is 3 minutes long with a minute easy in between, and then another 3 minutes long. So that's going to be one set is that. We're going to try to do this 4 times. And you're going to notice the first block, we're trying to hold 80 to 85. Even when you go to stand up, I want you to try to hold the highest cadence you can. Then in the second block, we're going to do the reverse. We're going to really bring that cadence down as if you're climbing something steep. And the reason for sitting and standing is sometimes that's what you need to do on a climb. So for the first one, The first minute, I want you seated in that same gear that we did the first effort. So you're going to be small ring in the middle of your cassette. If that gear feels a little too much to hold 80, then you're more than welcome to bring yourself to a little heavier or easier gear. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. You're looking at small ring around the 15, holding on to an 80 cadence, 80 to 85. I'll give you a range. I'm going to put myself right in the middle, 83. That's where I am right now. Nice and steady. This is what it might feel like if you're going up a 2%, 3% climb. Just enough to feel a little resistance under your legs. Sitting up nice and tall, hands on your deck, which is the top of your bars. Most of the time, you're not going to climb in your hoods. You don't need to, because you probably don't need your brakes. 3, 2, 1 harder gear. Standing up. Try to keep that leg speed high. You can keep it at 80. That's perfect. Hips right over your ankles. Feeling that saddle just between your legs. Hands now are in the hoods. Sitting back down. One easier gear. Settle right back into that 80, 85. One minute here. You're going to really perfect this by the end of this block. Stay consistent. Pay attention to the gear you're in so you know when we go back there where you are. When I count it down, you're going to shift to one harder gear. Stand up for 30. 3, 2, 1. One harder gear. Standing up. Spinning the legs out. See if you can hold the same cadence. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. Sit down. Easy gear. Take a minute spin. Calm down. Take a drink. All right. So what you want to do is we're going to go back to that eventually. Remember the gear you were in. Remember the effort level. All right, this next block. It's going to look exactly the same. 1 minute seated, 1 minute standing, 1 minute seated, 1 minute standing. The difference is your cadence is going to be 60 to 65. So how do we achieve that? I want you to be in your big ring and pick the gear that forces you to feel like the same effort as the last one, but in your big ring. So probably around your 17. Go ahead and shift to your big ring. 60 to 65. Whatever gear holds you at that cadence. 1 minute. Let's go. And yes, this should feel hard. Your leg speed will be slow. I want you to not push on the pedals. I want you to actually feel your hips staying still and your feet nice and flat, and you're utilizing the upward part of the stroke. Notice how still my upper body is. Just my legs are moving. I'm at 65 cadence. Use your glutes. Use your hamstrings. Use your leg strength. 3, 2, standing up. You can stay in that same gear. Try to hold the same cadence. If you need one harder gear to hold that cadence, you may shift. Three, two, sitting down. Back to 60, 65. Woo! It's a steep one. Feel the power from your legs. And you use your glutes a lot when you climb. If you have power, notice what power you're in. Try to match those power, those wattages. 3, 2, last time standing. Stick with the same cadence. Body's nice and tall. Try to avoid doing this. I shouldn't be seeing the tops of your head. Your head should be up. 3, 2, sit back down. Easy gear. Small ring in the front. Spin it out. Good job. Take a drink. Hold that cadence. Remember, during these breaks, you can go easy. This is when the body rests. You don't have to go super hard here. All right, we're going to go back to that original block. What was it? 80, 85 cadence. Seated in the gearing of somewhere around your 15 to your 17 in the small ring. Just like the last. 1 minute seated, 30 seconds standing. So a little higher cadence will feel good this time. Find your gear. 3, 2, 1. Looking at 80, 85. If you're hitting 90, then you need to shift to a harder gear. You should literally be just sitting right at the top, no higher than 85. Now this will feel for some people hard. This will feel for other people easy. Some of us like the low cadence work and struggle with the higher cadence. But some of us struggle with the low cadence work and love the higher cadences. So remember, work on those weaknesses. That's why we do both sides of this. Shifting down one harder gear. Stand it up. Try and hold that same cadence. Hands in the hoods. Nice and tall in your torso. Looking up at the screen. Even looking at the ceiling. Three, two, sitting down. One gear easier. Right back to that. 80, 85. Feel yourself settle in. Feel yourself planted in your saddle. Shouldn't be wiggling around. If your saddle is holding you up properly, then you should be comfortable. Almost to our last 30 seconds. Consistency. One harder gear. Stand it up. Keep that cadence right where it was when you were seated. Good. 3, 2, 1. Easy skier. 1 minute easy. Take a drink. Might have to turn your fan up. It's getting hot in here. I won't go into song. I'll leave that up to Randy, since he is the actor in the family. I think I've told you guys before. We did the test to determine what you're supposed to be in life. He's supposed to be an actor, and I'm supposed to be a farmer. Who would have thought, right? I guess I like that hard work. All right, remember what we did for the last one. We did 60 to 65, just like the last. 1 minute seated, 1 minute standing. 30 seconds standing. So find your big ring. Down to about your 17. Seated. 60 to 65. Let's go. It should feel hard. It should feel slow. It's okay. You might feel the sound of your trainer, if you're using a resistant trainer, going wah, wah, wah. Try to even that noise out. The lighter you make your feet, the better it's going to be. Believe it or not, feel yourself using the fronts of your shins. They come into play for this kind of cadence. 3, 2, standing up for 30. Keep those hips nice and still. You shouldn't be doing this. You should be able to stand atop. When you're over the pedals, if you're over them properly, your body should be helping you with pushing that pedal to the bottom. Sitting back down. Settling in. One minute here. 60 to 65. So this is the kind of cadence you're probably going to be if you're doing something over 8%. You're going to be going really slow, slowly up. And you can feel from this why climbing comes from your glutes. Three, two, standing up. I think I got my timing all wrong on this one. We're going to stay here for a minute. Going to go a little longer. See if you can hold it. Wanted to push you on this one. 3, 2, sitting down. Small ring. Easy gear. Good job on that one. Take a drink. Two sets down. Now I'm going to switch this next one up a little on you. Instead of going 80, 90, I want you to spin the legs out. So I want you to go 90 to 100. And then we're going to shift around to get us to go for those standing efforts in a gear that will work. So you're going to stay in your small ring for this next block. But I want you to go to a couple of easier gears, holding your cadence at 90 to 100 for that first minute. 3, 2, 1. Find a gear. Small ring. If you're going over 100, give yourself one harder gear. Might take you a little while to settle in. We're going to spin the legs for this middle set. I'm right at 100 if you're following me. 1 minute. Good high cadence. Going to freshen up the legs. Make them feel ready for the lower cadence work. You can do this on a ride. If you feel like your legs are starting to die a little, start to spin a little more. When I count it down, 3, 2, give yourself 2 or 3 harder gears. Keep the cadence high. See if you can hold it at 85. It's a little harder in this gearing. Standing up. Use your leg strength. 3, 2, sitting back down. Back to where you started. Back to that high cadence. I'm going to settle in right back at 100. This shouldn't be a piece of cake at 100. You should still be working hard here. You're building leg speed and cardio. Lung capacity. You're going to then give me 30 seconds standing. Couple of gears harder. And 3, 2, standing up. Keeping the cadence high. If you don't have enough resistance under your feet, it's going to be hard. Gear selection is huge. 3, 2, sitting down. Woo, easy gear. 1 minute. Again, you should be more than half, 3/4 or a quarter of your bottle left. We've been working this for some of you maybe longer, 40 minutes since I've started. So you should be almost near the bottom of your bottle. All right, we're not going to switch up this next block. It's going to stay the same. You're going to be big ring, the gear that gets you to 60 to 70. I'm sorry, 60 to 65. 1 minute there. Find your big ring. Let's go. Nice slow cadence. Really work this. You might even want to try to stay at the lower end of the range. So you're working those climbing muscles. This is the best way to simulate a climb. I want you to pay attention to your pedaling when you're pedaling slowly. You may find yourself, if you're right hand dominant, pushing on that right leg every time. It's not hard to feel it. If that's the case, think about pedaling with your left foot, and that's going to even you out. 3, 2, standing up. Trying to hold the same cadence. 30 seconds here. Feel the flow. Nice even circle. You're not stopping at the bottom of the pedal stroke. Three, two, sitting back down. 1 minute. Nice and steady. Holding that cadence you've been holding the whole time. Don't let it drop. Give yourself those encouraging words. Coming up on your 30 seconds of standing. In your hoods. 3, 2, and up. Good. 15 to go. Then you get to rest. 3, 2, 1. Small ring. Woo, easy gear. Take a drink. All right, 3 down. Legs probably are feeling this. For the last set, we're going to cut the times just slightly. You should be holding a nice, comfortable cadence right now. We're going to go back to 80-85. We're going to do 30 seconds seated, 30 seconds standing, 30 seconds seated, 30 seconds standing. So it's going to be even, Steven on this one. So find your gear, 30 seconds seated, 80-85. Let's go back to that. Here we go. Find the right gear. If you're getting to 88, then you need to shift to a harder gear. One harder gear. Stand it up. If you want to challenge yourself from a cadence perspective, leave it in the same gear. See if you can hold the same cadence as you stand up. That's hard. Three, two, staying seated. 80-85. Stay there. Stay consistent. 3, 2, 1. Last 30 seconds standing up. Keep the leg speed high. Feel the burn for sure. Hold on to it. 5, 3, 2, 1. Sit down. Woo! Easy gear. 1 minute easy. Yowza. That was a herder. Put that in the book, Lillian. It's a herder and a sweater. All right, we're going to stick with the last set, just as we did the previous one. 30 seated, 30 standing, 30 seated, 30 standing. Big ring, cadence 60-65. Feel strong in this last one. All right, find your big ring. 3, 2, 1. Find that gear that gets you to 60-65. No higher than 65, please. You may not need to shift to a harder gear when we get to the standing portion. 3, 2, standing up. Trying to hold that same cadence. You might even hold a higher cadence. Because you have the help of your whole body. Three, 2, seated, 30 seconds. Last time here. Last time, the best time. Come on, this is when it counts. These last couple. Work it, work it, work it. Feel strong. 3, 2, standing up. Last 30 seconds. 'Everybody still with me? Good job. 5, 3, 2, 1. Small ring. Easy gear. Spin easy for a minute. Then we'll bring the cool down in. Take a drink. Feel your heart rate start to come down a bit. You should be finishing the rest of your bottle by the time we call this a day. This cool down is just as important as that warm up. You need to just let the body recover, settle, bring the heart rate down, bringing your breathing down. So I want you to put yourself at easy gear, around the 90 cadence, but I want you to feel your legs being super light. No work, just spinning. Just spinning at a comfortable spin. Don't get the muscles to fire. This is all about starting to begin the recovery process and allow the body to recover properly. So find those light feet. Really think about not feeling that sole of your shoe under your feet. So if you're doing it properly, your feet will feel super light, like they're floating inside your shoes. Now bring your cadence down just slightly from where you are. Let the legs get even lighter. I like this cool down because by the time you get to the last minute of this cool down, your legs really do start to freshen up again. And you know the drill. Get in your recovery. Make sure it includes some protein. Do a recovery, drink, shake, whatever it is, because yes, you did drink a whole bottle, but you also need to rehydrate and begin the recovery process. Staying light. Now don't be surprised if you feel this in your hamstrings and your glutes tomorrow. Those are the muscles that you were using for this climbing. Now get it even lighter in your legs and slow that cadence down even more. If you're down to 80, 75, that's about where I want you to be. Just staying light. Another good workout under the books. I've been having to learn a new way to edit these videos to put them on the YouTube channel. So it takes me a little longer now because I don't know the same process that I had before. All right, we got 1 more minute here. So really bring it down even more, almost as if you're barely pedaling, maybe into the 60, 70 range, just enough to keep the pedals moving. Feel your upper body being light also. You should be settling into a good form. I watched a video today of somebody getting a bike fit done that had the sensors on the saddle, and it was interesting to see how this person was extremely forward on her saddle and really was having a difficult time with saddles. And it was all just because she was on the wrong saddle. Her cleat position on her shoes was wrong. And her stem, her bars were too high. 3, 2, 1. Great job, everybody. Let me put this to save. Way to go. Whew. Nice. Nice, nice, nice.